Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Barflies, Untapped. I am your host, Gabriel Canett.
I'm Chris Bean.
And we're today talking about all things Barflies. Today we're going to be talking about our lead character, Tessa Ramirez, who happens to be the leader of the group. She's the one who... She's basically like a cross between what I like to think of as like Michelle Rodriguez and Daria, meaning she's smarter than you and she's like more clever than you, but she can also kick you up and fuck you up like several different ways. And she happens to also have like one of the coolest powers because she is a superhero. All the Barflies are. And her power is she harnesses the power of fire. And it's really good because it's really cool because, I mean, with that, like, there's a multitude of different things she can...
For I possess the power of furious fire.
She's not afraid of her power. She's like the kind of person, she's not ashamed of who she is. She like wears all her mistakes and stuff on her sleeve. She'll tell you whatever she has to. Like there's one sound clip where she talks about you know, like, this is what happens. You go to one swingers party and then this shit haunts you for the rest of your life. Like, she has no problem admitting her faults, and she's very, very blatant, and she's really, really fearless. And even to the point to where, like, if people are threatening her, she jokes it off and like finds a way to like smack them back in the face with a really like clever comeback.
And let that be a lesson to you sheep shaggers. You ever try to mess with us again and it'll be bad. If the first time was Point Break, next time will be the remake.
But the remake was horrible.
So you do understand.
She's a survivor. She's a survivalist. Doesn't take shit.
No, she's not. From no one.
From no one.
You know what, Tessa? You're right. I am about a lot of things, but what are you referring to?
It's a very kind of low tolerance for
Stupidity and
the feeble-minded.
Yeah.
You don't operate at full capacity, do you, MJ?
Sorry, I don't know what you mean by that.
Of course you wouldn't. Your mom and dad probably came from the same mom and dad.
Yeah, when you first meet her, she's telling Danny a story about what just happened in her life, and then this barfly kind of comes in and asks him, because Danny's the bartender, so this barfly's like, "Excuse me, Danny, can I get a drink?" And she automatically right away, she just kind of like bats this person away and just ridicules this person.
What's the matter with you, food hole? Can't read? What, was reading Rainbow way too intense for you growing up?
What did you just say to me?
Deaf too, huh? Shocker. Why don't you just figure out what you want before you order? Stop wasting my friend's time, you lazy douche.
She's so quick that it's a reflex. So like, she's like reflexively defensive, I guess. But the thing is, she's never defensive though. She's reflexively offensive, I guess, would be the best way to put it.
She's
it's like any kind of move.
She goes in.
Yeah, and she makes you sorry that you even tried to mess with her at all. She's blatant as hell.
So yeah, we were prior to this recording, Gabe and I were setting up, and I was like, I love Tessa so much because of her duality. I mean, she's like cold as ice, but her superpower is fire. And I guess that was intentional.
No, it makes sense too. And one of her best friends happens to be Han, and Han, who we'll talk about later, Han has the power of ice. And so it's...
And she's more hot-blooded.
Yeah, and Tessa is, I mean, by most people's standards, here's the thing, is Tessa's Latin. She's Latin American. I specifically made her Mexican. I actually modeled her after my older sister, Yasmin, because I grew up in a house full of alpha Latin females, and so for me, that's my tribute to, like, the ultimate alpha Latin female. Is like the woman who doesn't take shit from anyone. She'll fucking go down swinging whether she's right or not. It doesn't matter. You get it. You engage her. That's it. You're the one who made the mistake.
Take you out.
Yeah, and all Latin people know this, and a lot of people know this. It's just like Latin women have the ultimate power. So I just kind of wanted to show that, you know. But that being said, she is, Tessa's so, she's what most people who aren't used to, if you've never been brought up in not just I don't want to just say specifically a Latin environment, but like just a third world environment in general. If you've ever been brought up in a third world environment, people talk to you. Like you are talked to differently. Like Chris here spent half his childhood in the Philippines. I spent a third of my childhood in Mexico. Like it's when you live in an environment where you have to like economize certain things that you can't, or you know, you have to give up certain amenities and things like that, and that, you know, across another border you're probably used to having. And you know, people talk differently, people think differently, you're treated a little differently, and that includes family. Like family
they look at you and they're just like, that is your dad? And then they look at me because I don't look almost white. And the same thing happened to my mom. They're like she's like, I'm picking up my son, and they're like, that's your son? Yeah. He looks too white. You know, it's like,
it's the same thing with my sister. My little
messed up shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, dude, I was 5 shades dark when I still lived in California. Once I moved here, dude, I got Italian light. And I mean, my little sister from one of her old baby daddies, like she has this blonde kid, and like my nephew, he's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and so when she like rolls him in the stroller, people think she's the nanny.
Yeah.
So
I mean, shit.
So when you my whole point is though, when you get brought up in this kind of environment, you think a little differently and you're spoken to a little differently. Like the way I'm talking right now, some people might think this is very aggressive or what's the word? Volatile, which is the wrong word to use, believe me. But this is how I grew up. I grew up Latin, so like the mentality was a little different, and what you perceive as abrasion is just us being passionate.
I think it's on guard.
Yeah, we're like. Yeah. But to other people, it's regarded as abrasive or aggressive or, you know, so unnecessarily blunt. And so this is the way Tessa talks. Yeah. Tessa, but she does it with like the cool, calm, almost subtle dryness that Daria does from like MTV. Yeah. With that whole like, I'm smarter than you and you're an idiot. You're an idiot. What are you doing? Get out of my way. Get out of my way. She's kind of more like that.
So her introduction was through Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, which is funny.
She was like the neighbor, right?
Yeah.
And like Beavis, she's like Beavis, Butthead, and they're like diarrhea, cha-cha-cha, diarrhea. Do you remember?
Yeah, of course I remember that. But she was kind of there to combat their ignorance, and which is kind of what Tessa is kind of, in that sense, that kind of representation, and she does kind of represent Daria in that way. She combats that ignorance, and she calls it out wherever it shows its head. And so, being in a bar, working at a bar, people like, you know, for anyone who's ever gone to a bar, you know there's that one fucking asshole who you wish would shut up. There's that one idiot acting a fool. There's that one girl who's just way too dramatic. Tessa's the one that literally just character assassinates all of them in front of their friends, in front of everyone. She's the kind of girl, like, and she'll get physical, like, without even being tempted.
She's ruthless.
She's ruthless.
Even you know, playing these bar games.
Yeah. There's an episode where at the end of one of the episodes, one character is getting harassed by a bigger character, and so what she does, she comes over, she grabs him by the balls, and she twists him. She acts all like 1950s gangster about it. And here, check out that clip.
Yeah, I mean,
see what I mean? That's ruthless, right? Or yeah, or how about this one where she? But here's the other thing too, is that she also has a secret though. See, as much as she doesn't want to come off as the good guy, she actually is like more of the good guy ever. She's She truly is the alpha, the idea of an alpha, because really what a wise person told me once is that an alpha's lifestyle is really, it's exhausting. It's the one having to do the thing that no one else wants to do. It's the one who has to roll their eyes and be like, fine, I'll do it. No, you know what? Just get out of my way. I'll get it done. Why? Because if I don't get it done, it won't get done.
Whether or not I'm choosing to be the martyr, don't make somebody the martyr. Oh God, somebody will always be the martyr.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Tessa is. Tessa is that kind of alpha. She's the exhausted alpha. She's the don't bother me. But if it happens, it's like, all right, fine. I'll take my fucking belt off and get you
I'm
done.
gonna do this again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good thing I care for you.
Yeah. So
You know, she's not without compassion.
no, not at all. And this is why she moonlights as a vigilante, known as the Blazing One. And it's fucking badass. She has like this fire Spartan, like a costume that she has. She's a total badass. She comes at like as a comet.
Can you imagine the Spartans, and during in Roman Colosseum times,
Seriously.
in chariots.
Yeah, like think like that badassery. It's cool, but it's like conjured from like fire, and it's conjured from like this necklace she wears that it just like transforms out. It's
They don't really talk about it. They actually have like their own magical animals, or I could see her with like being pulled by like a chariot of like fire horses. I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
But we're gonna have to get back into that next time. All right.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Barflies at Untapped. I am Gabriel Canett.
I'm Chris B.
Stay tuned. All right. We'll have more for you next week. All right. Take it easy, guys.